Good morning. This is the 12th, right? Yes, 12th of November. After a pretty good week, I say the Bears had an opportunity to knock the Bulls off their momentum, and they didn't. So there were some breakouts. We can thank the mega caps, these guys, for doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I feel like they put in a lot of work. So the S&P, is this the place where I have all of the charts? Let's see here. Let's go to this chart right here. SPY, 1 day. I know we have some things 1 day. There we go. Let's take out all the lines. This is a daily chart on the SPY, and you can see that it breached prior fails. That's progress. I think largely a lot of the heavy lifting, like I said, was done by the mega caps. Apple, for example, I'll show you the stock. We're starting with Apple, but before I start anything, thank you for submitting your tickers, by the way, on Friday. These are your tickers. I will go through them. I would like to give a little, take a look at where the indices are so that every answer we have will have to fit within that. Later tonight, I will have a separate video for about 6 minutes. Please don't miss it. That's the video where I lay down the strategy for the week, what to expect. Okay, so having said that, you can see that that's progress. I'm a little nervous when we jump up like this and leave these weak points in the chart, like these. Inevitably, we come back and fill them. Like this one, we came back and filled it, and then we fell apart. So maybe we come back, have a little, oh, who said what? And we come back out. Anyway, for now, the momentum is with the Bulls, and they're breaking out. So let's see how far they can take it. Remember this. This is in middle of September. This island pop, whatever that's called. That is a candle that usually carries a lot of negative momentum. I don't know how I missed that. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I don't miss it. I don't remember talking about it. But it works on the bottom as well. So look out for these next time. And that's going to be a challenge. And that's in the mid to high 440s. Okay. Having said that, can you believe we're talking about 440 and not 410 and 388? It is what it is. 2 weeks back to back, the Bears have lost momentum. 2 weeks before that, the Bulls had no momentum. So now we're equal footing. 2 weeks bad momentum for the Bulls. 2 weeks bad momentum for the Bears. Let's see the outcome. All right, so let's jump in and start with our tickers. And the first one is the Apple stock. So like I said, let's see. On Apple, I had discussions with some of you last week, late. And we were here, and they said Apple looks like it wants to come down on a harmonic. This was a legitimate claim, of course. But then I thought that they were trying to break out as well. I said, I think they will buy the next dip and break out and try to get to that circle. And they did. Believe it or not, the target on this breakout is like almost $200. But I'm not telling anybody we're going to 200 with Apple. But usually the breakouts are as deep, as tall as the bottom. So that's 15 points from here. That's 30 points up there, almost 200. So I'm not saying they're going to be able to run this much, but that's usually the target. So I humbly put my target here. Why? Because that's where they failed before. It's no longer a rotten apple. It's a green apple. So buy the dip in Apple inside this red rectangle. So that's Apple. I don't need to give it any more thought than this. It's really simple. Shorter term charts, this is what it looks like. You're going to have a lot of resistance above 188, 189. So I would be in a buy the dip mode. What are the person asking? Are you looking to chase it at your own risk? The easy work is done. ABBV, double bounce off of the same level makes that level super important going forward. You do not want to lose that. What were my lines on Apple here anyway? Okay, you see that squeeze, the wedge? I don't know when I drew it. Those two green arrows said there would be a bounce. I thought this was available. It came for like, what are these, 30 minutes? It came 2 times within an hour, and then they were gone. Okay, so back to ABBV. Sorry about that. ABBV, 2 bounces off, 2 bounces short term and another bounce long term. So longer term. that makes this level super important. So as long as ABBV is above 136, you're okay. If they lose 136, they're probably going to like 120. They will have sellers here and into 142 and a half, 143 seller zone. Okay. So good job bouncing. You have backup support around 133, but if you lose this, you might trigger something that gets you down to 120, 121 in a series of lower highs and lower lows. And look out, there are no earnings. Okay, Adobe. Okay, I have to say it. Are you guys now asking, whoever's asking for these stickers that are broken out, what are you asking me? You should tell me what you're asking when you submit your tickers, because then I know how to answer it. Because when somebody now is looking to go long when it's at my arrows, I don't know when I drew these arrows, but those were my comments. Maybe they'll dip by the dip, boom, exploded higher to my targets. There's no way on planet Earth I'm going long now. Okay, so watch it. Higher lows, higher highs. Right, we're at the higher highs. By the next dip, you missed the easy mark here. Right, so not for me. Oh my gosh, yeah, definitely not for me. Look at what you just covered. Okay, so let's rephrase. Adobe had a hideous time since 2021 when the end of the pandemic drunken stupor. Just now, it's going back to the same place. You want to make the same mistake as these people? But Nick, it can go to 700. It could. It's going to have to go without me. Because if I'm not long from here or 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 here, I'm not going long here. Okay. A few days ago, it was $100 lower. Just a few days ago. October 27th. I'm not buying it here. This one is still an opportunity for somebody who believes in it. I don't really know the business inside and out, but I know people who know their stuff and they accumulated on this dip. And if you did, you have the opportunity that you entered at a decent place. And if not here, a little bit lower. So I tell you, it's on my watch list. I don't think I've traded it yet. It's too small. But if it drops to 18, I would even get involved. Or actually 19, because it will be inside this area here. This is a good base. There's a base below it and a base below it. So I know I'm not chasing. Now the danger is when you rally with this, you're going to hit a huge wall of resistance, and it's pretty wide. So take your pick. If you're an investor, okay. If you're a trader, you have to be on your toes. I would take a long and exit, because I think, look, they've had rallies, but they keep making lower lows. So the next rally will be sold. And if it doesn't make a lower low, watch for it to get to 33. So you have to define yourself. Are you trading or investing to know what to do with the rally if it comes? AES. Let me zoom out. So if you weren't long here, now you're looking to get long. I don't know. They have, okay. So they bounced off of support. That was solid. And now they're going to have to tackle all the levels that they had to deal with on the way down. The biggest level, the biggest hurdle is around 19.5. So I think 18.5 or above is going to be difficult. If you're buying the dip into 15, okay, I see it. So if you wanted to get long last week and you said, oh man, I missed it, let me buy the next dip, and you're accumulating into this, I get it. That is fine. Just pick your spots, pick your exits, have a plan. I like it. Affirm. If you bought the pop, you and I need to have a conversation. I'm not investing in these stocks anymore. They're just too frustrating. And I'm including PayPal and Square and all of that. They've made us good money, but they've given us enough hassle and headache that, especially Square, I just don't want to deal with them. Affirm. Not for me. Are you investing? Okay. Are you trading? Okay, if you're buying the dip into 20 and 18 for the pop. And if you're shorting it into 28 by buying puts, okay. You should know that it could go to 36, but it's very violent. So you need to time your rhythm well if you're trading. If you're investing, just buy some and ignore it. Ignore all the short term. The good thing is you have now an ascending channel of higher lows and higher highs. So you could say that the bulls are somewhat in charge. They are buying dips. And they would have to deal with all of these. Now, if it ever takes 42 out, it probably goes to 60, but let's just ride the wave. And this is the upper side of the wave. So let them go here, get long on dips like this one, maybe a little bit lower, but you can't time it perfectly. Huge gap down below. Not every gap fills, you know. ALB. So I put this orange thing a while back, and it looks like it repeated. I'm not a fan of this P&L, and I've expressed my concern when a company's financials are so drastically changed immediately, like suddenly, and now it's drifting back lower, like the net income. It tells me that this was like ZIM, like a fad business. I know it might offend people. I don't mean it like, oh, it's going away. I mean it like they had a burst of profitability because of something that's transitory. Whoa, what did he say? Transitory? Holy mackerel. Yeah, something that's not going to be here forever. Now, having said that, it's going back into this insane rally that started in 2020. I still don't know what they do. Engage development, manufacture, and marketing of chemicals. Okay. We're going to have more and more chemicals. The less real stuff we're going to consume from the world, the more synthetic stuff, the more chemicals. Nothing happens in the synthetic world without chemicals. Okay. Oh, look at this. Holy moly. We already had a line drawn all the way down to here. So let me state some comments against that line. ALB is approaching an area where we thought would be a target from losing this level up here at 171. So if now I'm looking to invest in ALB, I would do starter positions. As an investor, as a trader, I don't know how surgical you can be. As a trader, I think you would have to just trade very tightly against this low and stop out if it makes a lower low, because it might have to it might go lower. And you have sellers at 121, 123, 128, and of course huge sellers at 135, 4, 3 to 5. Okay. Whoa, a line. I remember them getting shellacked on earnings. When a stock falls this much on earnings and they have an already existing business, it's like 22, 23%, you need to go investigate. Look at the P&L. What did they say? Something must have changed. This is not like a disappointment on a miss of sales or something. They said something that spooked investors. Know what it is. The P&L doesn't show it. They must have said something, regulatory something. Go figure it out before you trade it. Meanwhile, now you have a gaping hole above, and you need to figure out how to trade it. Now, if you give me this chart and you say, what would you do here? I would say, I'm trying to get long with a stop because you might bounce. But I would get out on the bounce because it could curl. And if you lose the bounce where it just bounced, it will end up in 80, 60, 82 to 65 down in this area. That's not my forecast. I'm just saying that now it might bounce and it might curl and lose the floor. So you do have a bounce. You could get bounce 1 and bounce 2 available. But you could also curl either here or here, I don't know where, and challenge this area. And then what? I'm going to stop here so I don't spook anybody. Then the battle would be, oh, shoot, I need to hold the floor. And if I extend left, there's another fight just like it right there and right there. Right? So this needs to hold. Else, I think it would, let's put this one here. And there's definitely sellers all around here. I know it's a big gap, but there must be sellers. Applied materials, again, like the Apple comment, what are you doing? Are you asking me to go long? No way on planet Earth will you have my blessing to go long. If you were taking my money, I would not let you put it there. If you're taking your own money, be my guest. It is trying to break out, at least buy the dip into 148 or 147, at least. You're going into a massive fail, 152 to 155. The last person that bought it up there lost $20 a share. That's like 12% air math. Yeah, there's no way they dropped 25% on a reduction from Piper Jaffray. Thanks, though. John immediately comes with homework that, ALGN dropped 25% on a reweight. There's just crazy. Amazing homework. You immediately pop in. What is this, Cal, you're posting here? What is this? What is this? No way. Shares of Allentown after Invisible Braces company fell short on quarterly. How did they fall short on earnings? Okay, so here's a scenario. We're going to have this discussion here a little bit quickly. Like these are comments about Align, whatever that stock that had dropped 20%. This one. They're saying that they missed earnings or whatever. If the stock did not change in the quarterly earnings, look, the earnings got better, the sales got better, they missed earnings. Who gives a crap? They missed the estimates. The estimates were wrong. I'll give you a perfect example. Last week, there was a stock we went long, and what happened was, I think we made money like the same day. The stock fell, and they grew sales 69%. And they missed sales estimates. Whoever is estimating these sales doesn't have a clue on how to estimate sales. And even if they missed it, who cares? They grew 69%. Show me another stock that's grown 69%. So these missed and beat, I don't even read them. I don't think you should read them. Who cares? We don't know anything about the person setting these goals. What if they're idiots? What if they've never had a goal right in their life, yet they have a job somehow? Yeah. Okay. Just go with the actuals, facts. Did they grow sales? Did they grow profitability? Yeah. Then who cares what the estimates were? Okay. This one is going into earnings. So everything I tell you is going to be a reaction to earnings. So you can come to me the day of the earnings, but we can look at the options to see if we can get some clues. AMD, I think NVIDIA is going into earnings. So the AMD outcome will heavily depend on the NVIDIA outcome. This is an amazing rally, too amazing, to be honest. If you're not long AMD, you missed it. I hope you're not asking permission to go long. Again, ask yourself, what happened to the last person that bought AMD here? Those are them. You can go ask. Ask them what happened to their money when they went long AMD here. But it could go to 130. It will have to go without me. At least wait for a dip. What to where? 115, 113? I think if it gets to 115 or 113 and it goes up, it will curl back down. It will go to 108. I will not take long in AMD up here, regardless of what you think of the company. Oh, I'm investing for the long term. Then where's the rush? If you're in it for the long term and you missed $5 of upside versus $5 of downside, where's the rush? But I told you, technically, I wouldn't get involved in it, even if I'm in it for the long term. AMZ, are you asking for Amazon by mistake? You gave me this one. I don't know what this is. $120 billion? Oh, I'm pretty sure this was Amazon request. What is AMZ? Huh. So we'll go with Amazon. Amazon is at a goal. I don't go long at goals. Look left, not a place to get long. Unity was the stock. Thank you. That dropped severely on a sales miss. 69%. Show me another 69% grower. Okay, so this is not an obvious entry point. Where? 140, 138, 136, take your pick. Personally, 136 or lower, personally. But Nick, you're going to miss a lot of upside. Maybe. I'm long the market, so I didn't miss anything. And I think if Amazon loses 139, 139.50, it will come down to 136. And I will have an entry point. Okay. Remember, we still have a bunch of things wrong in the world. So we went to Amazon and ANET. Arista Network, if you caught this, yes. Up here, no. Very simple. That's my answer. If you caught the dip, yes, that was a perfect entry. Up here, definitely not. It will dip again. I bet you it'll be at 196 before 220. And where are my lines? I had lines because look, I had reaction there. There they are. Okay, so the price action is playing out perfectly. This, somebody moved, something happened. My charts moved. This was here. So anyway, Arista is doing its thing. That's a bummer. Why did my charts? Because look, there are no lines here anywhere. That's bizarre. Abercrombie, I don't cover anyway. This is not an amazing stock, amazing, but the P&L is not that amazing. So I'm not sure why this is going on. If you're trading the stock itself and you're looking to buy it up here, you're on your own. I can't justify it, but it is an amazingly strong stock, so don't short it. Wow, what is happening here? Oh my gosh. What is oh, okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Let's go ask these people. 2011. People that are stuck from 2011. This is where they get off. I will let it go. Technically, the breakout has more upside to it, so they might get to 80. But if you're buying it here to get to 80, whoa, courageous person. I would never do that. Ever. Not that it's wrong, it's just not me. All right, so this could revisit 78 and 72. Who is this? Apollo. It could dip to 78, bounce, and curl back down and get to 72. That would be a great entry point. Why would I think that? It just looks like it. What is that here? Oh, okay. You see that orange line? I said risk, hold here, or 82. That's an old comment from October, like middle of October. And they didn't hold. They went to 78 or 77. They didn't just go to 82. They stopped at 82. So the comment was spot on. I said risk, hold, or 82. Boom, 82. Boing. Right off of 82. Why? Look at it. They bounced. They couldn't hold it. Overdid it. That was a great entry point. Earnings, reaction, straight to the problem area. Boom. Can't. So let me say, if this stock is not at 87 or higher next week, I think it revisits 82, and that would make a good entry. One of two, because there's a slim chance it can go below 77. Slim chance, but it's there. So I just gave you my opinion. And if you take out 86, you can probably go to 89 or 90, and then repeat the selling up there. APPN falling out of control, going out of business. No, it's not. I don't know if it is. It doesn't look like it from the P&L. The P&L is okay. They spend a little much. Their margins are a little thin, but they're not growing a lot. So anyway, this is a base. You have a bunch of buyers. Why? Because that's what happened. That's what happened. When the stock is upside down, I tell you, no way, don't go long into prior fail, right? Well, you can go long into prior bounces. So if I'm long, I'm not getting out here. If I'm looking to get long for an investment especially, this is a good place I can nibble. You could get 38, 39. And if it goes lower, the comments still stand. And earnings, no earnings here. I don't think it's very liquid in options. Otherwise, I'm going to put it here. Maybe I've never traded this, so I'll just add it to my watch list. ARKK, I'm not a fan of ARK, but if I'm a fan of the IWM, this one acts like it. So if ARK breaks out of 4140, they can get to 4350. Meanwhile, they have support below and resistance above. So the support scattered. Everywhere is support. First one is 3850, 37, 36. 36 is the best. I would be tempted to go long for a trade at 36. I am long the IWM and flat from last week, so I guess I'm long ARKK indirectly. This did what we thought it would do. They would fight over this level, retesting the failure area, and they made headway. So they shrugged off the worst case scenario. They hit first target that we had for them. They avoided the second target. Who is this? ASML. They avoided the second target from the whatever happened here. Not earnings. I don't know what happened here, but boom. And now they're making headway. Up here, sellers scattered everywhere. Every one of these peaks is a seller. So you're in the mode of buying dips inside, hopefully, an ascending channel. So if I'm not long, I'm not getting long into 668. I would get long into 636. BIDU. I don't trade Chinese stocks because that's just added mystery, what China does. And since I'm not an expert on China, let's see how well we did with our lines. Whoa, what are you talking about? Wow. Talk about good guidance and good homework. Look at this. The purple line. Was this perfect or was it perfect? And I can assure you it wasn't done after the fact because I don't even remember doing this line. It must have been in September or early October. Okay, so ching, we got this done. Now, the bounce may come and it may hit 122.5. The bounce will hit a wall at 115 right there. I think any bounce here is going to face a bunch of sellers at 112 and 115. If they cannot take that out, this stock will probably go to 93, 92, maybe even 90. We'll come down to here. So this available, but it's going to hit a lot of sellers. So this thing will kick in too. And if this happens, that means this would be the target down here. I'm not going to draw it. I'm just going to show you this. So as a trade, do with that information what you want. You can go long with an immediate stop. That's it. Bill.com. It's kind of a weird business model that these guys have. A huge, steep increase in sales, and now it's tapering. So is that a new low? It's not good. All right, so you do have history, but it's too old. It's from the pandemic. So whether here or 35, I don't know where it's good. So I do know that I could trade it short term in the hopes that it catches a huge rally, but stop out immediately. So if you go long here, set an exit strategy that's very strict. So if I spend $500, I'm throwing out a number. I would say to myself, well, if I lose 100, I'm out. This is just an arbitrary number. Pick something you're comfortable with if you need to trade it. Okay. BKR. Oh, Baker Hughes. Sellers above, buyers below. You have resistance at 35 and support at 33.50, 33.60. You're stuck in a box. BX. We kind of nailed this one all over the place, right? So now I tell you there's going to be a lot of sellers at 102, 103, and I don't think they're going to be able to take that out anytime soon. And if they do, they're going to fail around 105. That's my hunch. Better entry at 92, 93. Anything actually below 95 would be a better entry. I don't know if you're trading or investing. Make sure you know what you're doing. This is a Head and Shoulders that I think they have not recovered a neckline yet. The neckline is very tricky. So let me rephrase. If they fall below 95, they are at risk of going back to the low and maybe even going to 83 down in this area. At risk. It's not a forecast. But I put a box and I said the range, and they're still in the middle of the range. So we did well. You're still in the range. Confluent fell off a cliff. This not a pretty P&L. This reminds me of C3 AI, where the losses grow as fast as the sales. You're going to have to study the company to invest. I can't help you on that. From a chart perspective, if you lose 1675, you're going to retest the low. If you lose the low, I don't know where it goes. That's on the downside. If you're going long because of this giant gap, I think you need to do more homework. I think you have a wall at 20.5 right there. Chipotle, short it. No, don't ever short Chipotle. This is like Tesla. Why not? Because this is not a restaurant company. This company, anyway, as a restaurant, nobody matches it. I'm not talking sales or anything, just everything. Trust me, the P&L, I know restaurant P&Ls inside and out, and this is just astonishing what they do. They're excellent operators. That's the term for that industry, an operator. All right. So 1720 area, this area, that target that they almost got is should be cement. Should be a great starting point for any investor, even swing trader. Up here, going into a prior massive fail, you should be cautious. I would be trimming and leaving runners for the eventual breakout from that area. If they take out 2180, they can get to 2400, but that is a tough thing to start here, right? They just rallied hugely. Forget this. Let's go from here. That is a 16-17% rally non-stop. I don't know what you're asking me. Short? No. If you want to short, debit put spread, maybe credit call spread, but be careful. Buy the dip into 1880 at least zone, and it's a wide zone. It's very thin in the options. Be careful what you're doing with options. CRM still stuck in a box. We call that the Luis Iron Condor because he did a couple of Iron Condors and the same box still extends. This is the heaviest point of volume for the whole period you're looking at, which is about a year. So they're stuck. Sellers above, buyers below, take your pick. It will follow the market. The company's on rails. Wait, when does it earnings? 18 days until earnings. CRO, that's a typo. So we will move on. CrowdStrike. What do you want? This is not a place to go long. Definitely not. Look, they're selling rallies. Rally sold, rally sold, rally sold, rally. I think you will have an opportunity to go long into 160, 172 to 155 on the next drop. You buy the dip. Inside the big rally, they have dip bought, dip bought, dip bought, dip bought, dip bought. Buy the next dip. Okay, well, that was fast. Video 1 is over. Let's go stop the recording.